over or under? What's going on, BLV football fans and my gridiron gamblers? It's Mitch here, back with another week of NFL picks. This time, my pick for every single over or under. Each total, I will give you my selection over or under for every game for week 14. If that sounds good, don't forget to spike the like button and subscribe for weekly NFL picks on every game in every way, straight up versus the spread. And of course, just like this video, the totals for each game. How did we do last week? Pretty good. 8-5 on our over-under selections, making our overall record for the season 105, 85, and 3. We went 9-4 on our straight-up selections. And on Patreon, man, where I give you my bets that I'm making with my real money as recommendations to you. You don't have to bet everything I bet. I went 8-0 on Patreon. So if you want to support me, my picks here on the channel, what I do here on YouTube, it's only $3 a month. You can also get all of my bets and make more than $3 with my picks. So it's a win-win. Check it out. Link in the description. Patreon. Let's ride. All right. Just like Russell Wilson, we're going to ride into week 14 with our totals picks. And you're probably watching this after Thursday Night Football, so don't judge me on my selection here, but I think everyone in the world is rightfully picking the under 30 in this matchup between the Patriots and the Steelers. Actually, the line moved half a point off of 6. I bet the 6 earlier in the week. I just felt like that's too many points for such a low total, and the Pittsburgh Steelers hosting the Patriots with Mitchell Trubisky at quarterback. Like, should Trubisky be 6-point favorites against Michigan? Like, I don't know. So that's why I had to take the 6. Regardless of the outcome of the game, I just feel like that's a good bet, regardless of if New England can cover or not. It just feels like any NFL team, you get 6 points against the Steelers right now, you have to take it. But the total, it's 30. I mean, especially considering New England has not scored like over 10 points in weeks. And now they're without their best running back, Ramondre Stevenson, their best receiver, Demario Douglas. We already know Kendrick Bourne's on IR. And Bailey Zappi is the quarterback, not Mac Jones. So it's a downgrade at quarterback. They have worse receivers, which was already one of the worst receiving cores in the league. And they have a worse running back. So the Patriots just don't have any weaponry out there. Although their offensive lines played a bit better, I still feel like their weaponry is not enough to get this done. On the other side, New England's defense has been the best in terms of points allowed in the NFL over the past month. I think they will stifle Mitchell Trubisky. The only issue I might have with this game is the tendency for these turnovers to come up. Now, Zappi's done a good job protecting the ball. My issue might be Trubisky, because I think the Steelers will probably move the ball a bit better than the Patriots in this game. But I'm worried about Trubisky giving short fields to the Patriots to keep them in the game. So that's kind of my worry with the over potentially, but I like the under here. If you got a total this low, it's for a reason. So that's my Thursday Night Football breakdown. Let's get to the Sunday matchups. We've got the Indianapolis Colts and the Cincinnati Bengals. This game is bet over like all week. This has been bet way over. I think the total started at like 39.5, 40. And I think it was due to the weather that people thought was going to take place, but actually since then, the weather breakdown has reversed. So there's a lot of implied weather with all of these totals this week, which makes it a very difficult week to pick totals, in my opinion, unless you just absolutely know the quarterback situations, you absolutely know the weather. So I would wait until Sunday if I was going to bet any of these games over or under. That's just my opinion. At this point on a Thursday, I would just wait. With this game, I think I'm leaning towards the over, and it's because I think both offenses, although they have backup quarterbacks, have been better than the defenses in this game. I think the Colts have a key advantage running the football on Cincinnati, where Cincinnati's run defense has been pretty lousy all season long, and the Colts have been a really good run team no matter who the running back's been all season long. Gardner Minshew's also been pretty good, and Michael Pittman's been amazing all year. So I think they'll find enough plays through the passing game, along with a really strong rushing attack, to pace this game if you're the Colts. And I think the Colts should be able to score in the 20s. For the Cincinnati Bengals, I really like how Jake Browning looked specifically against pressure. I don't think the Bengals will run the ball super effectively here. I do think Grover Stewart's back from suspension, which will definitely help the Colts' run defense. But Joe Mixon has just been really, really good the last couple of weeks and created nothing into something type of situation. The wide receivers, though, is where I think the Bengals have a huge advantage. They have mismatches all over the field from Jamar Chase, Tyler Boyd, and T. Higgins versus a very undermanned and underwhelming secondary in Indianapolis. So I think the Colts are going to play this conservatively, try to not allow big plays, which I think is going to allow a lot of underneath easy completions for the inexperienced Jake Browning. So I think that the Bengals and the Colts will be able to move the ball. It's just a matter of if they'll be able to get sixes, aka sevens. We'll find out, but I'm still going to go with the over here, over 44. Next matchup, we've got 43 with the Detroit Lions and the Chicago Bears. I only see this game going one way. I see it as a 3-point game either way, and I see it both teams being in the 20s. We have heard that there will be weather here, but we've also heard that it's not going to be rain. It's not going to be super ugly. It's mostly just going to be wind. So I think that helps the Bears potentially take the upset, which I talked about in my best bets. But I also feel like the Lions will be able to move the ball through the air in this matchup. I do question whether or not the Lions will be able to run the ball with the same consistency that they're able to in the past, because let's be fair, the Bears defense has been very good against the run this year. But through the air, there have definitely been plays to be had. So I think the Lions can make some plays. They have a really well-schemed offense, and their defense has not been playing well. And I could see a scenario where the Bears get out to a lead, just like the first matchup, where the Bears are really utilizing Justin Fields' legs, screens to DJ Moore, big plays down the field, and then the Lions have to storm back through their passing attack, which I think will lead to an over. It's a tricky number at 43, but I see something like a 27-21 type of game here, so I'm going to go over. Next up, 30.5 is the total between the Jags and the Browns. I'm going to go under here. I feel like no Trevor Lawrence, likely CJ Beathard in this game. On the road at Cleveland. And Cleveland has only been allowing 10 points per game at home this season. That is an insanely low number. And you talk about Jacksonville having a weak and beat up offensive line and a backup quarterback and no Christian Kirk. I don't see Jacksonville scoring more than 13 points. And then Cleveland, with Joe Flacco in there, I think he's an experienced quarterback that will understand his role on the team, manage the game, don't turn it over. I think Cleveland will run the ball. I don't think Jacksonville's defense has been particularly good, but one thing to watch out for is Jacksonville's edge rushers, specifically Josh Allen, versus an undermanned tackled position for the Cleveland Browns. So I like the under 30.5 there. Next up, 41 is the total for the Tampa Bay Bucks and Atlanta. A very low total for a game played in a dome. Give me the over. I think both quarterbacks will have two of their best games of the season, Baker Mayfield and Desmond Ridder. Both these teams are pass funnels defensively. They allow yards down the field and big plays down the field. I could see Drake London and Mike Evans having two great games here. And I think both offenses are a tad underrated, especially because they love to run the ball. But when they do pass the ball, they can make some big plays. So I think Baker has a good game. I think the Bucs defense, they could be without some big pieces. Atlanta could be without some big pieces. Specifically up front, I've heard Vita Vea has been on the injury report. David Onyemata has been on the injury report. I think Levante David will return, but Jamel Dean will still be out. So there's some key injuries for both sides, for both teams and both defenses. The offenses are healthier. Give me the over 41 in this dome matchup. Next, total is 40 for the Ravens and the Rams. This game is expected to have some terrible weather, potential rain, potential wind, which makes 40 a really tough number. Because I would think naturally I would see this go under, but I have a funny feeling in the back of my mind an over is the play. So my gut is saying over. And the reason for that is I don't think the Rams are going to have a good day defending the Ravens offense. Ravens are coming off a bye. I think they've had time to situate themselves with the idea of no Mark Andrews moving forward to be able to game plan for the rest of their weapon group. And I think they're going to run the ball at will here. So I think the Ravens will be able to put up in the high 20s. It's a matter of if the Rams will be able to do the same. I don't see the Rams keeping up, but there's always the potential for garbage time points. So I'm going to say the over. I think all they really have to do is get to about 14, and I think this goes over because I think the Ravens are going to flirt with the high 20s in this game. So I'm going to go over the 40 here for the Ravens and the Rams. Next up, 33 for the Texans and the Jets. Given the situation with the weather, it's also at MetLife outdoors. I'm going under, and it's mostly because I think the Texans defense is underrated. The Jets defense we know is very good, specifically against the pass, which is the way the Texans attack. And without Tank Dell, there could be some slip up there from the Texans offensively. But I expect the Texans to win this game. I expect the Texans to go into New York and cover, but I mostly think it will be because of their defense. I don't think the Jets are going to move the ball that effectively no matter who their quarterback is. Give me the under 33 here. Next up, we've got the 38 and the Saints and the Panthers. Something's telling me to go over. Jameis Winston's wild. Bryce Young did play a bit better against the Bucs and actually had a backdoor cover, I believe, at the late portion of the game. I'm going to go over. Again, dome game. Saints have not been very good at home. Jameis Winston is a wild quarterback. Bryce Young played better last week. Saints defense is beat up. Panthers defense is a bit healthier. This might be also a spot to back the Panthers again. I don't know, but I'm going to go over. This is a low total. I think they get to around 40 points. Next up, 44 is the total between the Chargers and the Broncos. I'm going under here. I've not been impressed with the Chargers offensively. They have one weapon that really does damage, which is Keenan Allen. Pat Surtain's one of the best corners in the league. I think they stick him on Keenan Allen. Austin Eckler has been so bad, and the receiving core for the Chargers has been dropsies and miscommunication all over the place with Justin Herbert. I think this number's high because of Herbert. I don't think that this offense is very good with the Chargers. I think the Broncos want to run the ball, which keeps the score low and eats the clock. So I'm going to go under 44. Next up, 40.5 between the Vikings and the Raiders. This could go either way, but I'm going to go over only because this is, again, a nice environment, no weather impacting this game. And despite the quarterback play, there's great weapons in this game. Great weapons. You got Devontae Adams. You got Justin Jefferson returning. He should have a big game. Of course, Jordan Addison, Jacoby Myers. A lot of big-time playmakers in this game. TJ Hawkinson. I mean, there's a big list of them. So I feel like this is going to go over because I think both these teams will find a way, or at least one of them will find a way to 20-something points, and the other could also as well. So this should be a close game. I see it being like 23-20, 24-21 type of game. So I'm going to go over in this matchup. Next up, 46.5 between the Seahawks and the San Francisco 49ers. This is a tricky one. Seattle has struggled to run the ball and struggled to score against San Francisco. It's a really bad matchup for Seattle's offense because Seattle's offense has been really poor at blocking the front of San Francisco, and it's in San Francisco. So that worries me because the crowd plays a factor as well. We just didn't see much from Seattle's offense in the first matchup. But San Francisco, this could potentially be a trap spot for them coming off a huge win against the Philadelphia Eagles. 46.5. So I kind of feel like San Fran, though, at their best, they score 30 against Seattle. Like, Seattle's defense has not played well. I'm going to go over. I'm going to believe in Seattle offensively to do what they did, closer to the product of what they had against Dallas. There shouldn't be weather here in San Francisco. I think Seattle moves the ball a bit better than they did in the first matchup. And the receivers are playing really well. Geno played well last week. The offensive line played better. They held up against Dallas's front. I think that Seattle comes out with their last punch for this season, and they play well early in the game. I think San Fran, that forces them to keep up and forces them to score. So I think San Francisco is going to put up 31. Seattle should put up around 17-20. So I think this goes over. I'm going to go over. Next, 48.5 between the Bills and the Chiefs. This could go either way. I would not bet it. I'm going to go under only because I don't trust the Chiefs offense. I think the Bills defense has been playing better despite their late game performance in Philadelphia. And I think Sean McDermott will be well prepared off the bye for the Kansas City offense that has been really struggling. And I think the Chiefs defense is legit. So I think while I love Josh Allen and the Bills offense should be prepared here to play a good game and pull out all the stops, I don't think their offense is going to have to score 30. I think they're going to have to score about 27 to 24 to win this game. So I think this is going to go under just as it did last year. Next, 52 is the total between the Eagles and the Cowboys, and something is telling me take the under. Despite this game going over in the first matchup, my first kind of response is under. So I'm going to go under. It's just a really high total, and the Eagles' offense has really struggled. Could this be a spot where they really struggle again? And they'll play with great pride. Philadelphia, I think, will try to slow this game down. I don't think they necessarily want to get into a track meet with the Dallas Cowboys, so I think they'll try to slow the game down, run the football, keep their defense rested, allow them to rush the quarterback. And I think the Eagles will have a better plan than they did in the first game against Dallas, because Dallas really ripped them to shreds in the first game. Then again, Dallas moved the ball at will. So, I mean, a lot of people are going to take the over here, but 52 is an insane number with the historically defensive and low-scoring season that we're seeing this year. So, give me the under in prime time. Next, Monday Night Football, 46.5. I'm going to go, again, something's telling me under. Although I want to take the over because it's in Miami. It is a primetime game, and primetime games have been going under pretty crazy. You know, usually you blindly take the over with Miami playing in Miami, but I don't know if Tennessee's going to score any points. Maybe that's what's really hurting it here, and no Jeff Simmons for the Titans does scare me for an underplay, but 46.5 is a lot of points when you don't even know if the Titans are going to score more than, yeah, are they even going to get to double digits? Like, to be honest with you, they're so bad on offense. I'm going to go under on Monday Night Football. And then the final matchup, 37, something's telling me to go over. So I'm going to go over. As you guys know, none of these will probably be bets for me here at the end of this video. But I'm going to go over 37. I think the Giants are going to be able to move the ball better than people think against the Packers, especially through their running game. And the Packers offense has been hot. So Christian Watson or no Christian Watson, I think they're going to score at least 20. I think the Giants hang around in this game and get around 17. So I think this is probably going to hang around the total, but I think it's going to go a little bit pushed to the over compared to the under. So give me over 37 as the final game on Monday Night Football and the final game of week number 14. Those are my picks, guys, for the over-unders for week 14 of the 2023 NFL season. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to spike the damn like button. We'll see you on the live streams this week. Good luck with your bets. Good luck with your picks. It's Mitch. Love seeing you. Love hearing from you in the comment section below. And don't forget Patreon, baby. Patreon is the place to be. It's Mitch. Thank you so much. Peace.